A love story that touched the world now stands at the edge of a brand new beginning. But before destiny writes its next chapter, it whispers a question that no one saw coming. What happens when two people who once saved each other must meet again after a lifetime apart? The screen fades in with soft golden lights drifting across the frame. A quiet night in Beverly Hills appears, glowing with the same charm it had decades ago. Neon signs shimmer in the distance. Elegant storefronts stand still, untouched by time. Then the faint hum of a limousine glides through the scene, its headlights cutting gently through the night. The audience can't see who is inside, but the view is familiar, almost like a memory reaching out from the past. A delicate piano note plays, echoing the iconic theme from the first film, but slower, softer, like a memory being carefully unwrapped. The camera moves through the quiet streets, drifting past the Beverly Wilshire Hotel sign. Its lights glow warmly, like a guardian watching over a story that never truly ended. Suddenly, a jewelry box snaps shut, quick, sharp, and full of meaning. It echoes loudly against the gentle music, stirring a wave of nostalgia. This sound alone pulls viewers back into a world they knew, a world where love arrived unexpectedly and changed two lives forever. The screen shifts to silhouettes. One of a woman standing near a tall window, her outline calm but thoughtful. The city lights reflect around her, framing her in a gentle glow. A faint breeze moves a curtain behind her, making the moment feel alive. Though her face is hidden, her presence feels familiar. The audience can sense Vivian's spirit in her stance, the subtle strength and softness that made her unforgettable. Then, another silhouette, a man walking through a grand hallway. His steps are slow, steady, and slightly heavy, as if he carries years of decisions and regrets. He passes through a room filled with muted golden light, a briefcase in one hand, and the weight of unspoken words in the other. The sound of his footsteps blends with the soft piano notes, building a quiet emotional tension. Though we never see his face, something in his posture, something in his quiet pause near the window, whispers Edward's name without needing to say it. The narration begins in a steady, warm voice. Some stories never truly end. As the line fades, the visuals shift again. A close-up shot of an unopened envelope lies on a polished table. The paper looks aged slightly, its edges curled with time. A name is written on the front in gentle handwriting, but the camera never reveals it fully. The audience is left wondering, who wrote it? Who never sent it? What kept it hidden for so long? Next, the camera moves to a high-rise boardroom. Edward's silhouette stands alone against the tall windows. The city stretches endlessly in front of him, but his mind seems far away. Papers are stacked on the table beside him, untouched, as if they no longer hold the same importance they once did. His hand rests against the glass, and for a moment he appears lost in a memory, one that feels warm, but painful. As the music deepens, the narration returns softly. Long ago, two hearts found each other when they least expected it. The screen shifts to the iconic red dress, carefully folded, preserved with care, lying inside a box that has not been opened for decades. Soft light pours over it, turning the fabric into a symbol of everything that once was. A hand reaches into the frame, hesitating before touching the dress, but the moment stays incomplete, just a breath away from revealing the past. A gentle breeze sweeps through a room, lifting the edge of an old photograph pinned to a mirror. The picture is blurred by time, but the silhouettes of two people laughing together are visible. The camera doesn't reveal their faces, keeping the mystery intact, but the warmth in the image says everything. The narration lowers into a deeper emotional tone, and the world watched as love transformed them both. The visuals grow more poetic now. Streetlights shimmer like fireflies on a warm night. Shadows from palm trees sway softly against the pavement. The world feels familiar but different, older, wiser, filled with unspoken memories. The music rises slightly, carrying a sense of longing. Then the sound fades, leaving only the soft hum of the city. A final silhouette appears on screen, standing at a balcony overlooking Los Angeles. The camera slowly moves closer, but just before the figure turns, the scene cuts to black. leaving the audience hanging in that single moment of suspense. The final line of Section 1 echoes gently. But life, William, has a way of pulling even the strongest hearts apart. The screen holds in silence for a brief second, letting the words settle and preparing the audience for what comes next. The screen fades in slowly from the darkness, revealing the inside of a quiet penthouse. This is not a cold place, yet something about the stillness feels heavy, almost lonely. The room is large, filled with warm lights, but there is an emptiness in the air, an emptiness that tells a story on its own. A glass of untouched wine sits on the edge of a marble counter. A jacket hangs over the back of a chair, as if someone rushed in, paused, and then couldn't bring themselves to stay. A soft gust of wind moves the curtains, letting the city's glow filter in through tall windows. For a moment, everything feels frozen in time. The camera drifts slowly across the room, capturing small details. A pair of reading glasses on a table, an open book lying upside down, a framed newspaper article turned face down. Nothing is loud, but every object whispers that something in this life has shifted, something important. The narration begins in a calm, steady voice. Life changes, even when the heart tries to stay the same. The camera glides toward a polished wooden desk sitting near the windows. On it lies a letter, still sealed, untouched. Its edges are worn as if someone has picked it up many times, thinking of opening it, only to set it back down. A hand comes into the frame, reaching toward the letter. The fingers hover over it, shaking slightly, before pulling away. Whoever this hand belongs to, they are not ready. Not yet. The scene shifts to a boardroom high above the city. The room is empty except for one man's silhouette standing near the window. His shoulders look heavier than before, his posture less confident, as if he is fighting a storm inside himself. The camera doesn't show his face, but the audience can feel the weight of his thoughts. He places his briefcase on the table with a slow, tired motion. Papers and contracts are spread out before him, but he barely glances at them. A soft ticking sound fills the background, echoing like time passing while the narrator continues. Success comes at a cost, and sometimes the highest price is the heart you leave behind. The silhouette moves closer to the window, looking out at the world below. The city lights shimmer like a billion memories. His hand rests against the glass as the wind carries a faint echo of laughter from the streets below. For a moment, he closes his eyes, and the audience senses the truth. Edward is standing in a life he built, yet somehow feels further from happiness than ever before. The scene shifts again, this time into a charity center filled with soft, warm lighting. Volunteers move quietly in the background. There is a gentle energy here, something peaceful. In the center of the room, the camera focuses on another silhouette, this one clearly feminine, standing in front of a wall covered with photos and handwritten notes. Vivian's presence is felt instantly, even though her face remains unseen. She reaches out and adjusts a small drawing made by a child. Her movements are tender, steady, filled with quiet purpose. A subtle, warm piano note plays. Vivian picks up a flyer from a nearby table. The camera zooms in just enough to see the words Annual Hope Gala. She holds the paper for a long moment. Her fingers brush over a logo, a name of a donor. Something triggers a memory in her, something she has tried to bury deep. She exhales softly and the room seems to grow quieter for a moment. The narration returns, softer this time. She found a new path, a life built on kindness, dreams, and second chances for others. But the past has a way of finding its way back. The screen transitions to a car moving slowly through Los Angeles, the lights reflecting on rain-speckled windows. The silhouette inside sits quietly, head turned toward the passing streets. The world outside looks familiar yet distant, as if carrying fragments of another life, another version of themselves. A close-up shot reveals a delicate bracelet around the wrist of the silhouette. The audience remembers it. It's the same one Edward had given her long ago. Its shine catches the light as her hand tightens into a fist, as if holding on to something fragile. The music deepens, bringing a sense of emotional tension. The scene shifts again. This time a box is opened on a bed. Inside lies a simple, elegant key. The camera moves slowly around it, capturing its worn edges, Its small imperfections, its old, familiar. A place she hasn't returned to in years. Her hand lingers above it, unsure whether to pick it up. The moment hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken memories. The narrator breaks the silence with a line that settles deep into the story. Two hearts, once connected by fate, now separated by life. The screen moves through a series of slow, emotional shots. A hallway light flickering, a rain-soaked street, a reflection of Vivian's silhouette in a shop window. Edward sitting alone in a car, gripping the steering wheel. Each image builds the feeling that the screen opens with a gentle sunrise over Los Angeles. The sky glows in warm shades of gold and peach, slowly waking the city from its long night. Cars begin to move, shops start to open, and people fill the sidewalks. But beneath this busy morning energy, something deeper is stirring. Something that feels like fate taking its first quiet steps. The music shifts to a soft melody, carried by a single piano note that repeats with a comforting rhythm. The camera moves to a small bedroom. The curtains sway lightly as morning light pours in through the window, touching everything with gentle warmth. On a wooden dresser sits a box, old, carefully kept, its edges slightly faded. A hand reaches into the frame. It hesitates for a moment, as if unsure whether to open the past or leave it closed forever. Slowly, the lid lifts. Inside lies the red dress, the same red dress that once turned heads, stole hearts, and changed the course of two lives. The fabric is still bright, glowing under the morning sun, as if waiting for a new story. The hand brushes over it with the lightest touch, and in that moment, memories rise like quiet waves. Vivian's silhouette stands still, her shoulders rising slightly as she takes a slow breath. She reaches deeper inside the box and pulls out a tiny piece of paper tucked under the dress. It's an old receipt, cracked, yellow at the edges. The words are faded, but she knows exactly what it is. A memory she carried with her, even when she didn't want to. Her fingers fold around it, and she closes her eyes for one long moment. The narration enters, soft and nostalgic. Some places call us back, even when we believe we have moved on. The scene transitions. The iconic Beverly Wilshire Hotel appears, its entrance bathed in the glow of early morning. The camera glides across the tall archway, the polished doors, the red carpet that has welcomed countless stories over the years. For a moment, everything is still. No guests, no noise, just the quiet hum of destiny waiting patiently. A car pulls up near the hotel, not a limousine this time, but a simple black sedan. The door opens, and a silhouette steps out. The figure stands still, looking up at the hotel. The camera stays behind the silhouette, keeping the mystery intact. But even without seeing a face, the audience can feel the emotion, the hesitation, the pull of unfinished memories. A faint whisper of music from the original film can be heard, soft, almost hidden, like a ghost of the past trying to speak again. The narration continues. Time can change everything, except the place where the heart learned to hope. The screen shifts to Edward. He is in his study, sitting at a desk cluttered with papers. But his attention is fixed on an old photograph he holds gently in his hands. The photo is worn, the edges bent, but the image is clear enough. Two silhouettes laughing together framed by city lights. The camera doesn't reveal their faces, but the moment is unmistakable. Edward traces the edge of the photo with his thumb, his movements slow and thoughtful. Suddenly, his phone rings. The sound is sharp, breaking the quiet. He doesn't answer. Instead, he sets the phone aside and looks out the window. His reflection appears in the glass, older, wiser, and somehow sadder. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small key. It glints under the light, simple and familiar. The camera moves closer to the key. It is the same key shown earlier, the one tied to a place he hasn't visited in years. A place full of memories he tried to leave behind, but something inside him shifts, something that feels like a whisper. The narrator speaks again. When the heart remembers, the road back finds you. The music swells gently as Edward stands up from his desk. He places the photograph in his coat pocket, picks up the key, and takes a deep breath. His silhouette moves with a sense of purpose. Slow, steady, but certain, he leaves the room without looking back, and the door closes softly behind him. The scene transitions to a train station. Vivian's silhouette stands on the platform, holding a small bag. The wind plays with her hair and coat as she looks at the tracks stretching ahead. The camera captures her from behind, creating a moment filled with tension and hope. She doesn't move. She simply waits, as if trying to decide whether she truly wants to return to a place that once changed her life. A train approaches, its distant rumble growing louder. The light shines softly across her silhouette. As the train stops, the doors open with a soft hiss. She steps forward, but pauses. Her hand grips the strap of her bag tightly. The audience can feel her conflict. Fear, hope, longings, all tangled together. Then she steps inside. A soft piano chord plays, warm and bittersweet. The narrator's voice returns, filled with emotion. Two paths, once parted, now begin to bend toward each other again. The screen fades into a montage. A car driving through winding. The screen opens with a warm glow settling over the Beverly Wilshire. Evening lights shimmer across its walls, giving the building a gentle golden shine. Cars move quietly along the street, their headlights painting soft streaks of color on the pavement. A light breeze sways the palm trees, brushing the night with a quiet, peaceful rhythm. The world feels calm, but beneath that calmness lies a growing tension, an unspoken promise that something long awaited is about to unfold. The camera pans to the hotel entrance. Guests come and go, but their faces blur into soft shapes. The focus stays on the red carpet, stretching into the lobby like a path that leads straight into the past. A doorman opens the door for someone stepping inside. It's just a silhouette, but the shape is familiar. The audience feels it instantly. Edward has arrived. He steps into the lobby slowly. The ceiling lights glow above his head, reflecting on the polished tiles. He pauses at the center of the room as if letting the moment sink in. He hasn't been here in years, not since the day everything changed. The air feels different now, quieter, heavier, filled with echoes of memories that never really left him. The camera focuses on his hand as it tightens around the key he carries. He looks down at it for a moment. The metal glints softly, catching the reflection of lights above a simple key, but holding years of stories, mistakes, and hopes. He closes his hand around it and takes a small step forward. The narration enters with a gentle, intimate tone. Some places stay inside us forever, waiting for the moment we return. The scene shifts to Vivian. The train slows as it approaches the city. The inside of the carriage hums with soft motion. Vivian's silhouette sits near the window, watching the bright skyline appear through the glass. Her fingers tap lightly on her bag, a sign of nerves she's trying to hide even from herself. She leans closer to the window, eyes following the familiar streets below, as the train enters the heart of Los Angeles. The camera moves to her lap where the simple bracelet rests against her wrist, the one she kept for years. The one she never fully understood why she saved. The bracelet shifts with the rhythm of the train, catching the faintest glimmer of light. She touches it gently, her thumb brushing over it as if reminding herself that this is real, that she is truly going back. The train comes to a stop. The doors open with a soft sound and Vivian steps out. The city's energy rushes toward her, cars honking, people talking, lights flashing, all swirling into a lively, chaotic glow. But she doesn't rush. She stands still for a moment, looking around with a quiet, searching expression hidden within her silhouette. The narration returns. A single step is all it takes to begin a new chapter. The screen transitions into a slow, poetic montage. Edward walking down a hallway inside the hotel. His footsteps echo softly, steady but unsure. Vivian moving through the city streets, her silhouette blending into crowds, yet feeling completely alone in her thoughts. An elevator door sliding shut, trapping a moment of breathless anticipation. A taxi turning onto a familiar road, headlights sweeping across the pavement. A hallway light flickering, casting long shadows on the floor. Each shot builds a quiet tension, a pull that draws both characters closer together without ever showing their faces. The music deepens, still gentle, but growing in emotional weight. A soft violin joins the piano, weaving a feeling of hope and fear tangled together. Edward steps out of the elevator on a higher floor. The hallway is quiet, lit with warm lamps along the walls. He walks slowly, Almost afraid of where he is going, yet unable to stop himself, he pauses in front of a familiar door. The key in his hand feels heavier now. He raises it, hesitates, then lowers it again. His breathing becomes slow, thoughtful. Unsure, the camera shifts to Vivian. She stands outside the hotel now. The bright sign glows above her, casting a soft light on her silhouette. She reaches up and smooths her hair, more out of nervous habit than vanity. She takes one step forward toward the doors, then stops. Her hand rises, trembling slightly. She presses the bracelet gently as if drawing strength from the past. The narration adds a new depth. Old wounds, old dreams, they all rise when two souls return to where everything began. Vivian walks inside the hotel. Her footsteps are soft, almost silent, as she moves through the lobby. The camera captures her from behind, letting the golden lights frame her silhouette. The front desk receptionist lifts their head slightly, sensing someone important has walked in. Vivian moves past, her gaze fixed straight ahead. At the same time, Edward stands outside that door, unable to turn the key. He leans gently against the wall, eyes closed, fighting against years of emotions rushing back all at once.